710 ESPN.
Lakers talk is on.
When you got games against teams that are below 500, or they're certainly not in the ballpark of where the Lakers are, those are dangerous games for the Lakers.
And the Lakers will finish holding the Thunder to 2 points in overtime and winning it by 7.
It's Lakers Talk with Alan Sliwa.
It would be nice that they're not exerting the amount of energy that they are against teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Detroit Pistons.
From the home of the world champs at LA Live.
And these same two teams will do it again on Wednesday night.
This is Lakers Talk.
Here's Alan Sliwa.
What is going on, Laker fans? What is going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Another edition of Lakers Talk. Lake Show sitting at 19-6 on the year. Let everybody kind of start come in, and whatever platform you're on, appreciate you guys being a part of it. So, okay, we got a kind of a packed full show tonight. All right, so got a number of topics that we want to get into. Okay. When we're done, after we get through the show and we get through all the questions, I had Talen Horton-Tucker on during Lakers Talk, the Lakers public relations, nice enough to help coordinate that. So I'll play that full interview of THT at the end of the show. Then we'll get the hell out of here. And then we'll call it a night. So, okay, let's get right into it. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's start off with this. Homecourt. Okay, I want to spend a few minutes on this. I've been watching the Lakers these last couple of games. So we saw them against the Detroit Pistons. By the way, Laker fans, I got great news. The Detroit Pistons are no longer on the Lakers schedule the rest of the season. So we don't have to see Jeremy Grant anymore. We don't have to see Mason Plumlee anymore. I'm worried about the Detroit Pistons. But just think about these last couple of games, right? The Detroit Pistons, you go to double overtime. You play against the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's something kind of weird going on with the Lakers right now. And what it is sheer boredom. I think they're in a position where they know they got an incredible chance of going back-to-back this year. They know that they have the right pieces, the right experience, the right role players, the superstars that you're looking for. Honestly, the biggest thing in the Lakers' way right now is just getting through the regular season, getting through these 72 games, which, by the way, I think we're about 35% through the season already. So that's kind of actually pretty fast how quick it's gone by. I think the boredom part 100% plays into it. I do get concerned and worried sometimes with guys like Anthony Davis and LeBron James because, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, every cliche. Okay, I'm a guy that likes throwing out cliches, okay? Defense wins championships, Laker fans. I mean, I don't know how much you have. Got to play the full 48 minutes. All right, you want a couple more? I don't have another one. I think that's all I got right now. If I think of any other ones, I'll let you guys know. But for the Lakers, it's different. Lakers are in a different position than other teams. So the reason why I say, home court, I started off, basically the question is, do Lakers need home court? Is that essential? Is that important? Is that just a luxury or is it a necessity? If they play the Utah Jazz in a 7-game series, is home court critical? If they play Philadelphia in the NBA Finals or Milwaukee or Brooklyn, and let's say 4 or 5 months from now, the NBA's changed. They're allowing fans back into the arenas. Even if it's a smaller capacity, look, that's going to play a difference. If you'd asked me that question, maybe start of the season, I would have probably said, play for home court. That's important. We've seen Lakers. You guys remember back in 2000, Lakers and the Blazers? Game 7 was at Staples Center. Do the Lakers win that game at Staples Center if Game 7 was in Portland? I don't know if they do. They were down 16 in the fourth quarter or the second half or whatever it was. Do the Lakers beat the Boston Celtics in 2010 if Game 7 was in Boston? It wasn't. It was here. Lakers came back double digits down. We know the story. Kobe, Meta hitting the shot, Powell with some big plays. I don't know if they win that game 7. But I feel like for this Lakers team, I'm not comparing them to that season where the Lakers were just winning their first championship with Kobe and Shaq. I'm not comparing them that Powell Kobe years. You guys remember in 2010 when it was Lakers and the Sacramento Kings and it was Game 7 and the Lakers went to Sacramento and took care of business, a team that already won championships before together. They had built in that chemistry. They knew each other's tendencies. Every player knew their role. I almost look at the Lakers similar to that season. All you got to do is just get in the playoffs and be healthy and ready to go. And if you are, it kind of doesn't matter where you are in the standings. That's how I feel. I feel like at this stage and seeing the Lakers just grind their gears during the regular season, not because they're not good enough, but a lot of times they're just not into the games. They know that it's not a big game. They can't get themselves up to play Mason Plumlee. Okay, that's not. They're not game planning in the locker room saying, "Watch out for Mason Plumlee." I feel like I'm targeting Plumlee tonight. Where there's other matchups, obviously the Lakers are going to get up for, but they're not going to get up as much. So, if I'm asking the question, how should the Lakers prioritize the remainder of the regular season? I don't think it's that important of a priority. I think the regular season is almost in the way for the Lakers to get to the postseason and then start that run for a championship. Okay, let me read some of these comments here. I can only imagine. I haven't even gotten to the comments yet. Let's see what we got here. Somebody's already calling me out to Echo Park. Don't do that, bro. Don't call me out there. Okay? I could be out there in about 30 minutes. Then I need about 45 minutes to stretch. Then I need about 15 to 20 minutes to run some suicides. I just got to warm up my body. And then after that, I don't know what any of that means. All right, let me see here. Let me see what we got here. Okay, I got Jacques Henkel saying LeBron is playing too much minutes. Hold that. I'm going to get back to that in a second. Okay, let me see what we got here. I think Laker fans are kind of falling along the same line here. It seems like Peter Sison on Facebook says it seems like this season's Lakers are more focused on the road, which, by the way, you might be right on that. I don't think there's any denying that. I got to be honest. These comments are average. Okay, Luis Pascal. They play way better on the road than on home court. It's not a priority to have home court. Matchups are important. That's a good one. I like that. Somebody's trying to throw me on the last roster spot. I'll just say this. I'll just say at the end of the day, I think for the Lakers, like Aniket is saying, home court does not matter this season. Lakers playing better on the road. I just think right now for the Lakers, don't you feel just getting to the playoffs and getting through the regular season is the number one priority at this point? And once they do get to the postseason, they're going to handle business. I don't think there's any concerns when it comes to that. Okay, I want to hit on another. I want to kind of keep this thing moving here because we got a lot of topics. And I mentioned I want to play the THT interview at the end. Okay, LeBron's minutes. Somebody mentioned here LeBron's minutes. So LBJ, by the way, LeBron played. I want to get his minute total right. He played 43 minutes last night. He played 46 minutes against the Detroit Pistons in that double overtime game. I know how you guys feel about this, but every time I see LeBron in these long games, and LeBron has talked about this, the treatment that he gets in between games is more important than what's happening during a game. But how can it not, concern you a little bit that LBJ is playing so many minutes at age 36? We're a third of the season through. There's still so much more basketball left. Then you got Anthony Davis, who's taken, some precautionary measures of making sure that he's all good to go. Lakers head coach Frank Vogel talked about that. I think he's listed as questionable for tomorrow. Yeah, I get it. I mean, concerned for LeBron's minutes. Why wouldn't you be? I think that the days that we thought the Lakers would play these bad teams, and that would be an opportunity for LeBron to sit the fourth quarter, it seems like LeBron is playing more minutes against the bad teams because the Lakers are not interested in the bad teams. Okay, so let me give you an example. These are some of the games Lakers got coming up. You think the Lakers will be ready on February 14th when they play Denver? Yes, they will be. You think the Lakers will be ready for the home game against Brooklyn on December 18th? Pretty sure the Lakers are going to be ready for that game. February 24th at Utah. February 26th against the Blazers. Sunday or against the Suns on March 2nd. The games that the Lakers play good quality teams, I feel like the Lakers will be ready for. LeBron, I feel like, is playing a lot of his minutes against the bad teams. He's not going to get up against that matchup. Not him specifically, because LeBron's been ridiculous. But I guess you could say the rest of the team is not. They look disinterested against teams like the Pistons, teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, teams like the Washington Wizards are coming up on the schedule. They got another game against Oklahoma City tomorrow. Those are the games that I'm actually getting more concerned about with the Lakers, is because those seem to be the games that LeBron should be getting rest, but he's actually playing more. That LeBron, when you're hoping for what you're hoping for is, okay, now is going to be the time where LBJ gets to kind of kick back and rest. He's not doing it at all. I almost actually think I wouldn't be, and I think a lot of Laker fans would probably agree with this. I don't mind at all if LBJ takes a couple games off. If LBJ is, if LeBron doesn't play tomorrow and Anthony Davis does, I think every Laker fan will be like, sounds good. Yeah, don't have LBJ play. But I will also tell you this: if LeBron doesn't play, you could be conceding a game, because we know just how important LeBron is on a night in, night out basis. I mean, Lakers don't win games when LeBron doesn't play. That just doesn't happen. Lakers still have chances to win games when AD is out, because LBJ can do what he did yesterday. LeBron yesterday, 28 points, 14 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, 2 block shots. I mean, the guy's ridiculous. I don't know what to say here. All right, I got somebody saying here, 8 minutes a quarter and then rest. So simple, 32 minutes. Problem is they're going to overtime, and he needs every freaking minute to be in there. Okay, somebody's saying it sounds like a coaching issue. By the way, it's not an issue. You just wish the Lakers would take care of some of these bad teams so that LeBron would get that rest during the teams that he shouldn't be expending all of his energy for. That all makes sense right there. Okay? All right, let me read off a couple more of these. Somebody saying he shouldn't have to block shots at this age. A couple fist pumps. Good people. I got you guys. Michael Cerna, LeBron going for that scoring chip. Somebody else telling me that Warriors are resting Curry. Lakers Wisdom says too many minutes against under 500 teams. No question about it. I did see somebody's pointing out that the Pistons just beat up on the Nets. What's going on with the Nets here? I was the one saying that they're coming out of the East, but Nets are making me look bad here. Okay. Last one I'm going to read on this, then we're going to move on. The mercy seat, not enough contribution from the team forces him more minutes. Yesterday, the Lakers, between LeBron James, Dennis Schroeder, and Kyle Kuzma from the three-point line, that team, or those three players, I think they were 4 of like 28 or something like that, 26, something along those lines, 4-24. Lakers couldn't hit a shot yesterday. That's the God-honest truth. Okay, so a couple things here I'm going to get into real quick. Number one, roll call. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Give you a quick shout-out, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, I don't know what other platforms we're using, Twitch. What else are we using? Twitter. I don't know what else we're using. Okay? I'm just told, put out good content, and that works probably 50% of the time. Okay? Let me know where you're tuning in from. And and I'll give you guys a quick shout out. That's number one. The second thing is quick shout out to Power Pro Plumbing, Heating and Air. Power Pro, thank you. Thank you for being a partner of our social show right here. Big fans of the station. They're huge Laker fans, huge actually Laker and Dodger fans. Locally run business. So if you're out here in Southern California, just forget all the headache. You got a plumbing issue, it's Power Pro. You got a heating, air conditioning issue, it's Power Pro. That's simple. Thank you for their partnership. Okay, a couple quick shout outs here before I get into my next topic. Okay. I got somebody else calling me out on Echo Park again. People just coming after me. South Carolina, San Marcos, appreciate you guys tuning in. Nepal, Lagos, North Hollywood, Trinidad in the house. Highland Park, San Diego, California in the house. Norwalk, Philippines, Anaheim, of course, Pepsi Center. Lakers are going to be at Pepsi Center this upcoming Sunday. I'm actually looking forward to that game. That should be a good game. Bosnia in the house. Thank you for tuning in. Manhattan Beach, 3rd and Fairfax. Someone's at Staples Center. I think they're lying to me. Pacific Northwest. Appreciate you guys tuning in. See what else we got. Mexico, Trinidad, Lagos, Philippines. Look at this. Freaking Laker fans everywhere. Everywhere. Long Beach, California, South Carolina, Singapore, Hungary, Cal State, Fullerton. Okay, keep going here. New York City in the house. All right, Kevin, huge Lakers fan from LA. Thank you for tuning in. Iowa, and it's freaking cold. Okay, Carlos, thank you for tuning in. Okay, a couple more here. Someone's at Arrowhead Stadium. Guadalajara, Mexico. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. New Jersey in the house. Thank you for tuning in. So thank you all for being a part of the show. Sydney, Australia. If I miss you, just stay on it. I'll try and get back to you. Okay, I got to keep the show rolling here. Sydney, Australia, Temecula. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so I had Talen Horton-Tucker on, and I'm going to play that full interview at the end of the show. So here's my question to Laker fans right now. If you're buying a stock right now, okay, and you're putting your money into Kyle Kuzma's stock or into Talen Horton-Tucker stock, who would you put it in? And I'm not trying to compete these two, putting these two guys up against each other. They're both Lakers, and we're cheering for both of them. But what I'm asking Laker fans is, who do you think has more upside right now between these two players? And the main reason, why I'm asking the question is because, here we are with the Lakers. Kyle Kuzma has been that player over the last couple of years where a lot of us are saying, hey, he's got incredible upside. Look what Kuzma's going to end up doing. And then out of nowhere, Talen Horton-Tucker has kind of started taking more of that conversation. So let me prop up both of these guys, and then I'll tell you guys who I think, all right? So keep the comments coming. I'll get to them in just a second. All right, Kuzma, 25 years old, drafted back in 2017 by the Lakers. What was he taking? I think he was taking 27th overall by the Lakers. So Kuzma, what's his skill set? He's got the ability. Kuzma can go off for 30 points on any night. If Kuzma was on a bad team, let's say Kuzma was on the Minnesota Timberwolves, he'd probably average 20 points a night. I think he's working hard on the defensive side of the ball. It doesn't mean he's good at it yet, but he's working hard at it. I think he's working hard to become more of a rebounder for the Lakers. I think he's definitely sacrificed for the Lake Show and understands his role on this Lakers team. If you're going to knock him, you're going to say that he's too inconsistent. There are too many times where I go a couple games without talking about Kuzma, and then it's like, okay, hey, there's a Kuzma sighting. That's been his career so far. But I want to give the guy credit because I really do feel he's trying incredibly hard to be the right role player for a championship team. And not many 25-year-olds know how to do that. And I think he's, certainly sacrificed for this Lakers team. Okay, that's Kuz. All right, now Talen Horton-Tucker. Drafted by the Lakers in 2019. He was the 46th pick. Was he 46th, 47th here? 46th pick back in 2019. Okay? Just 20 years old. We don't even know what THT is yet. Like, I still have no idea what Talen Horton-Tucker is. All I know is the dude is a walking bucket at age 20. He can get to the basket. He's very crafty around the rim. understands, like he has these instincts that usually come from veterans. Okay, a defender is playing him more on the right side. He knows when to go left. Understands how to use the basket for some of those reverse layups or whatever the case is. Uses the spin move perfect. Everything seems like it's just natural. He's not thinking when he's playing. So THT on offense, the dude's going to be a walking bucket in this league. Okay, defensively, there's a few games now where I'm sitting back and I'm like, Talen Horton-Tucker, I do the post-game show, and I'm like, THT had 2 steals tonight. THT 2 blocks tonight. THT had 3 steals tonight. He's a player that's got a lot of potential on the defensive side. If you're going to hit his holes, you're going to say Talen Horton-Tucker, too many turnovers, offensive fouls, doesn't really know where he's going sometimes, but he's 20 years old. So this is what I would say, Laker fans. I'm kind of surprised, kind of shocked to say this. I think THT's got more upside than Kuz. If I'm looking at these two players, I think I'm more excited about what Talen Horton-Tucker can be in the next 5 years than what Kuz can be in the next 3 years, right? And I'm just looking at age. THT's 20. Kyle Kuzma's 25. He'll be walking into his prime over the next few years. Kind of surprising to say. To be honest with you, that's kind of surprising to say. All right, let me read some of these comments from Laker fans here. By the way, Iran is tuning in. Appreciate it. Okay, I got somebody on YouTube saying Kuzma, no question about it. Bahu Bradley on Facebook, can't we keep them both? Like I said, this isn't a competition. I'm just, I could sit here and I could talk about Alex Caruso's strengths as well. I'm not saying pick one or the other. I'm just saying which player do you think has got more upside in the future? Okay? Let's keep going here. Wow. Okay. A couple surprises here. Herman, California. Kuz all-round player. Babatunde Ugandari on YouTube. Easy. THT 2 ways. Jacques says Kyle of Kuzma. Let's keep going here. A lot of Kuzmas. But listen, I'm not mad at you guys. But I'm a little surprised. A lot of Kuzmas right now. I feel like there's more Kuzmas than I thought that would be getting love. Let me read a couple more here. Francis Lawrence on Facebook. THT has more stock right now. Mohammed just says GameStop. That's it. I don't know what Mohammed's talking about, but just GameStop. That's his comment on here. O.C. O'Neal, THT at 20 years old. Okay, let's keep going here. All right, so basically what we got here is I would say right now there's a lot of people kind of chiming in on Aniket says THT more upside. Kuz is better at the moment. Murad Raisin says THT has more upside, but both will be solid players. Okay, so there you go. That's more of a balanced attack than I thought it'd be. Laker Wisdom, THT going to be much better than Kuz. Herman, California, Kuz playing great defense. So there you go. We got a lot of Laker fans that are definitely on both sides of this. Me personally, I would say I think I got a little bit more stock in THT. I like where this kid is going in the next few years, and Kuzma's got to keep growing as well. Okay, let's keep going here. Next topic here for Laker fans. Appreciate all the comments, by the way. It's always nice to kind of interact with Laker fans. By the way, there's some comments just to give you guys kind of an inside look into what goes on in here during the show. If I don't care for the comment or I don't like the comment, I just pretend like I don't see it. Just go right by it. Or if it makes no sense to the conversation, I probably don't bring it in. Okay? Okay, let's keep going here. AD's numbers. Anthony Davis's numbers. Okay, Laker fans. AD's numbers, all right? Put my sheet of paper right here. Be professional, Laker fans. Be professional. Okay, so Anthony Davis. AD right now. I want to compare last year's numbers to this year's numbers. Okay? So Anthony Davis last year was averaging 26 points a game. Now he's averaging about 22 points. Rebounds down from 9.3 rebounds to 8.6 rebounds, and then blocks 2.3 to 1.9. So all of his numbers pretty much are down from last year. Here's my question to Laker fans out there. You worry about it at all, or you're not worried about it in any stretch of the imagination? I think there's a couple reasons why AD's numbers are down, okay? First of all, I think part of the reason why they're down is because there is more offensive talent on the Lakers this year. Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder are a real deal. Like those guys, after Lakers won yesterday, I went out of my way in the postgame show to say that I'm not going to give those guys too much credit because that's how good those two players are. They're supposed to put up numbers like that. Both Anthony Davis or both Montrez and Schroeder are supposed to put up numbers like that because they're that good. Both of these guys one won the sixth man of the year, one was six-man runner-up. If AD ain't playing, both those guys should be around 20 points, and Montrez should be at 8 or 9 rebounds, and Dennis Schroeder should be at, 6 assists, something along those lines. Part of the reason why AD's numbers are down is because there are guys on this team that have the ability to score on a consistent basis that wasn't always there last season. So I think that has something to do with it, okay? The other part of it is I got to imagine AD might be pacing himself a little bit. I mean, they didn't use him yesterday. I think AD does understand that this is going to be a long year, and just getting to the playoffs and being healthy is much more of a priority than are you the number one seed in the Western Conference? Look, do I want to be selfish and also be the number one seed and do every post-game show and be complimenting the Lakers left and right? Of course I do. But the Lakers are trying to do something that's different than a lot of other teams. If you're the Utah Jazz, you're going to play all your guys big minutes because you hope that you can be the number one seed because you know you're going to be behind the 8 ball if you have to play the Lakers. And the same goes with some of these other teams in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee and Philly and Brooklyn, they want home court because they just want to get out of the Eastern Conference, and then they may have to play the Lakers. I think the Lakers know that with Anthony Davis, they could be a little more strategic with him. Coach said it. Coach mentioned it yesterday in the post-game show the pregame show. He talked about his pregame interview that he does. He said that they're just being cautious, but that it's nothing to worry about. So I'm not too concerned that Anthony Davis's numbers are down. Okay, let me see if some Laker fans are ready to hallucinate or if they're okay with what's going on. This is a good one. Roshrin George says free throws and rebounding is a concern. His rebounds are down. Listen, I want AD to get – I said this before the season started. I wanted AD to be the one that we're talking about for MVP, not LeBron, because I wanted AD to just kind of take his game to another level, and that is not the conversation this year. Definitely LeBron is still the, kind of the lead when it comes to the MVP talk. Free throws, I got no idea why AD's missing his free throws. I mean, he's too skilled of a player to be missing free throws. Way too skilled of a player. Okay, a couple more here. AD used to be best free throw shooter in the league. Got someone here saving himself, pacing himself. Alex is going a little extreme here. Shut down and rest AD for the first half of the season. That's not going to happen. Somebody's saying pacing for what? Pacing them. What do you mean pacing for the playoffs? Pacing yourself to win an NBA championship. Okay, let's keep going here. Somebody's saying AD looks weaker this season. I was mentioning this yesterday. The one issue I got with AD's stats, go look across his stat line. The only issue I got with AD's stats is one specific issue. I hate when the dude doesn't take enough shots. When Anthony Davis takes 10 shots, I'm like, every defense out there is saying to themselves, this is the greatest day in the world because AD only took 10 shots. It's the only chance we have of stopping him, right? I mean, if Anthony Davis gets if AD takes 20 shots, he's putting up 28 to 30 points. And if he has less than 20 shots, then you better have 10 free throws. That's the only reason why his shot attempts are down, is because they were fouling him. That's the only stat I got an issue with when it comes with Anthony Davis. The dude has to be getting 20 shot attempts. And that's part of it. That's the coach's responsibility, the other players. And then it's also AD's responsibility to demand the ball and go to work. Okay, got somebody else saying no excuses for AD to be failing. I wouldn't go that far. I don't think the guy's failing. Oh, this is a good one. KO on YouTube says AD is more defensive player of the year. Okay, we read off a quote. This is Anthony Davis off after the win against the Denver Nuggets. So AD says this, because people were talking about his offense. He says, a lot of people talk about my offense and how this year has been a slow start and everything offensively, but I'm a two-way player. I don't rely on defense for me to have a great season. I'm doing everything I can on the defensive side. When you're a two-way player, you don't have to rely on one aspect of the game, which is scoring. I can help my team win on the defensive end and make shots when I need to. I mean, to be honest with you, if you actually even heard the tone of his voice, he was basically telling every person out there, don't worry about my offensive numbers. I'm not just an offensive player. I can win the game on the defensive side, and we'll get enough scoring. So how am I going to argue that? That's a great point by AD. And, of course, there's two sides of the floor. Okay, a couple more comments here, and then we're moving on. Why do you think he's missing his free throws? Listen, Myriad on Facebook, not everybody steps up to the free throw line and can just shoot 80% of the line every time he's in Echo Park. You know what I mean? Not everybody can do that. Career 80% free throw shooter here. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's okay, Laker fans. It's okay. This is an off day, by the way. Tomorrow's a Lakers game. All right? Just finished Lakers talk on 710 ESPN. We're coming back here. It's like the post-game Lakers talk show. Okay, one more here. The Mercy Seat says shooting because of injury can't drive. Yeah, I do feel like AD's been a little bit more cautious. So I can say, be more aggressive, take 20 more shots. AD's probably looking at the big picture. Okay, let's keep going here. This is the number one topic I get on the postgame shows. The number one topic. You ready? This next one is the number one topic. Everybody talks about Marc Gasol. Everybody. And his lack of production. Okay, that's been a conversation that I get every time. So I want to address this. I want to just address this real quick. This is what I would say. I would say this about Marc Gasol. I think it's being blown out of proportion. I think Laker fans, I don't know what your guys' expectation was on Marc Gasol coming into this season, but I definitely didn't think Marc Gasol was going to be putting up 15 points a night and 8 rebounds and 6 assists, right? Okay, nobody did. Now, I'm not saying Gasol could not have been more productive for the Lakers, or my expectation wasn't that he would be doing more. But Laker fans, trust me when I tell you this. If you think Gasol will be the player towards the end of games in the playoffs that's playing the 5 position, playing the center position, it's not going to be the case. Anthony Davis will be playing the 5. So when I say it's being blown out of proportion, what I'm referring to is don't have these expectations from Marc Gasol like he's supposed to be giving us 30 minutes a night, because that's not going to happen with Marc Gasol. And also know that by the time we get to the postseason, Lakers are winning a championship. If they're going to go back-to-back, AD is going to be the 5 for the Lakers in the fourth quarter and in big games. Marc Gasol will not be in the game. He'll be guarding Jokic. He'll be guarding Joel Embiid. He'll be guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. He will be guarding the other team's best big man. And if you need a banger, Montrezl Harrell is going to be in there. And Montrezl Harrell will be the player that is taking charges, throwing people out of the middle, boxing out, getting the lobs. So I would just say to the Laker fans that hit me up 98 times after every postgame show that Marc Gasol is not playing well and he's too slow. The plan was never for Marc Gasol to be in at the end of games in the fourth quarter or in the playoffs. So I think that we just need to accept the fact that Marc Gasol is what he is. I don't think, by the way, that's going to change that much. I mean, I don't think his production is going to improve or his impact is going to improve over the rest of the season. I don't think there's going to be a crazy amount of progress from there. AD is going to be playing that role that he needs to play. I mean, even if it wasn't Marc Gasol on this team and if it was another player, I know a lot of Laker fans, have said, we should have kept Dwight. He should have been on this team. At the end of the day, push comes to shove. You're in a close game in the fourth quarter. AD's playing the 5. Okay. Now let's read how many Laker fans hate everything that I just said. Let me see what we got here. Elias Castillo. Gasol older, lost 2 steps, but we're fine. Vodman on YouTube. Marc Gasol is high IQ, and it will pay off in the playoffs like Rondo. Okay. Some positivity right there. That's what I'm talking about. Averaging at least 10. Yeah, that ain't happening. Okay, let me keep reading here. Gasol needs to be a bruiser. That's KG on YouTube. I don't think that's gonna be happening. The Mercy C, love Trez, Mad Hart, and I think that's what you're gonna get a lot of. I think the Lakers, when you're in the playoffs, Montrezl Harrell's gonna get a lot of those minutes, and he's gonna get a lot of those rebounds. And then Anthony Davis, that's gonna be the defensive stopper. AD's gonna be the guy sitting in the middle that pretty much either blocks shots, alters shots, completely changes the way teams have to play. And it's going to be Jokic having it. Did you guys see Jokic against the Lakers? Jokic had a game against the Utah Jazz before they played the Lakers. I want to say he had 47. He played the Lakers. He had 13 and 10, something like that. And then the next game didn't he have 50 or something? I can't remember how many he had. Maybe in the 40s or the 50s. AD that's who's going to be your 5 when we get closer to that point. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Should have kept JaVale and Dwight instead of Gasol. I get that one a lot. Robert Valentine, playoff Gasol is all I need. That's what I'm talking about right there. Okay, a couple more here before we get to your questions. Sean Santacola on Facebook, Gasol is an outstanding passer. He really is. I mean, look, old Gasol, young Gasol, that's a nice player, but that's just not the case anymore. And then Rashawn George says, I'm sorry, Sliwa, but I can't get down with Gasol. You don't have to. It's okay. I want you guys to obviously give your opinion on all this stuff. Okay, Laker fans, we are towards the questions portion of the show. We've got 2 things left. We're going to answer your questions. So any questions that you got or comments you have or whatever the case is, let me know. And then after that, we're going to play Talen Horton-Tucker, who came on Lakers Talk earlier today on the show. By the way, if you want to catch that show on the ESPN app or on iTunes, just search Lakers Talk with Alan Sliwa. The full 2 hours are there, so you can go to that. I got Spectrum on in the background, and they're showing Laker highlights here. So, we got Lakers. Everywhere I look, we got Lakers. Okay, let's see your questions, your comments, and then we'll go from there. Are the Utah Jazz contenders or pretenders? It's a good question. It's a good question right there. Okay, I'm going to give Utah Jazz some credit here. Playing phenomenal basketball. Lakers got them coming up. Let me look here. Lakers got them coming up February 24th. So they're coming up. So I guess to answer your question, and that game is in Utah. Oof, how great is that game? How about this next couple weeks for the Lakers? At Denver. You got Brooklyn coming to Staples Center. You got at Utah Jazz. You still got a matchup against the Blazers, the Golden State Warriors. We got some good games coming up. So we got to get through these next few games, see how the Lakers play against these teams below 500. I'm actually looking forward to the game on Friday against Memphis. Ja Morant. Ja Morant's a stud. By the way, let me just go on one more sidetrack here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that dude's a stud. That guy walked up to the free throw line, hit those 3 clutch free throws yesterday. I'm hitting 1 of 3. We lose by 2 points if that was me. If I came up to the free throw line, I'm missing the first one. I'm missing the second one. I'm making the third one. They asked me to miss it. Okay? Shea Gilgeous is cold-blooded. That dude's a baller. But we get another young player, John Morant, coming up on Friday. So Utah, pretenders or contenders? I like them. I think they're a good team, well-coached, smart players, a lot of high IQ players. They can be a problem in the playoffs. I don't think I don't think they can compete with the Lakers in a 7-game set. If you're asking me Clippers or the Jazz in a 7-game set, I think that'd actually be a really good series. I would take the Clippers. I think Clippers would win in that series. So they're a good team. Are they going to contend in the Western Conference? Not too worried about the Jazz. Maybe we find out more on February 24th. Maybe we find out more. Alex calling it Power Pro Arena. Okay. See what else we got here. Small website. ESPN.com. You heard of it? Small website. Got people now using my jokes on the chat. And then people that don't know that was my joke, there's somebody else laughing at that joke in the chat that's going to give credit to somebody else. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. All you guys. Renee gives the advantage to the Nuggets instead of the Jazz. I don't know what's going on with the Nuggets. Nuggets had come all the way back. They started off 1-4, and then they get to 12-8. Since that game against the Lakers, they've lost 3 games in a row. Unless something happened tonight. I don't know if they played tonight. Okay. Couple more, and then we're getting the hell out of here. Let's see what we got here. Jazz are regular season team like the Bucks. Should LBJ rest next game? Honest opinion, the dude played 46 minutes and 43 minutes in the last 2 games. You're playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Listen, if Anthony Davis is good to go tomorrow, yeah, I'd be okay with that. And by the way, if Anthony Davis is good to go tomorrow with the rest of the players that the Lakers have, they shouldn't beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. They shouldn't, with Anthony Davis and Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma and Talen Horton-Tucker and Caruso. And we'll see if Caruso goes. KCP, they shouldn't they shouldn't take care of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They should, but I don't know if they would because LeBron James is LeBron James and he does everything. All right, do I got one more good one here? Is Trevor in the chat? Did we get Trevor? Is Trevor Lane here? I think I'm doing something with Trevor tomorrow on Lakers Nation. Tell Trevor I will cross him over no. I love Trevor. Literally the nicest guy. He's the nicest guy. Okay. Right. Final one I'm going to read. Final one I'm going to read, and then we're going to go to Talen Horton-Tucker. Okay? How bad do we need the top seed? How bad do we need the top seed? I don't think we need it. I really don't think it matters. Some years you might say that it's important. I think for a lot of other teams, especially in that Eastern Conference, it's important. I think for a team like the Utah Jazz, it can play. It can be an effect. It's a luxury. It's not a necessity for the Lakers. 100% not a necessity for the Lakers. So to answer your question there, no, I don't think it's that important. Okay, Laker fans. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. So, Talen Horton-Tucker, I'm going to play the interview that we had with THT a little bit earlier today. I will say that tomorrow, Lakers pregame starts at 5:30 with myself and Michael Thompson. Lakers, Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow at 7. I'm ready for another triple overtime game. I don't know about you guys. You guys might be sitting at home, sitting on your couch enjoying the game. I prefer 3 more overtimes. Probably not. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we just kind of finish up that game in regulation and then call it a day. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Talen Horton-Tucker coming up next. Thank you for tuning in.
THT, thank you for taking the time and joining the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing? Thank you for having me on.
No, of course. I was just kind of joking around here and setting this up with the public relations department. I didn't even know you had the day off today, and you're making the time. So, again, thank you. And first thing I want to just kind of start off with is just your overall thoughts. How do you think the season is going right now? And I'm talking more from a team perspective. How do you feel like you guys are doing? The record, certainly says that this is an elite team in the NBA, 19-6. What are your overall thoughts on the start of the year?
I feel like it's pretty good. Everybody, wants to do well. So I feel like just being able to, have some success early on as a team is good. And, there's always room for improvement. Everything's not going to be perfect. So it's just something that, that we have to grow with every, game by game. So I feel like it's good overall.
Talen, what's the balance on this season? I think watching you guys so far, it's I'm sure for the entire team, and I know you're the young gun on the team, but what's the balance of knowing that you got a squad that has a chance to go back-to-back this year? You want to kind of pace yourself. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. What is that balance? Just kind of going through the grind of the season, but also knowing big picture is the only thing that really matters at the end of the day.
I feel like everybody kind of knows that, just being around a group that we had last year and then having a group that we have this year, I feel like the mindset hasn't really changed. So just being able to have that same group and the same focus, being able to lock in is something that you need, I feel like, to be successful and win. So I feel like we have that. So I feel like it's coming along really good.
Talen, yesterday I got a chance to ask Lakers head coach Frank Vogel. I was curious to get his opinion on you, specifically of when he thought that you would be a consistent rotational player. And he actually went back. He said last season in the bubble, when you got that chance against the Houston Rockets, he felt like, okay, you know what, I might be able to use this guy probably even more than he had assumed. How about for you? When did you feel that when you're on this Lakers roster, you're in the NBA, you're playing with guys like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, when did things kind of click for you where you thought, you know what, I know I could hang with not just obviously guys on this team, but with other players around the NBA?
I've always felt like I was able to, feel like do the things that I've been able to do. I feel like just opportunity and, just patience is the thing for me. So I feel like coming in, into the bubble, getting the opportunity to play against, the guys that we had and get the opportunity to be around, winning cultures just, helped me, get to this position. So I feel like, I'm pretty good.
Is it Talen Horton-Tucker, by the way, taking some time to join Lakers Talk? Lakers taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow. Lake Show sitting at 19-6. Talen, is it tough at all to, somebody as young as you are, and here you are on a championship team? I'm sure there are times where, you want to play 35, 40 minutes. You got the energy, and but you're on a team where you have to be very strategic. This team's got a shot to go back to back. You already have a championship under your belt, and you're only 20 years old. Is it difficult sometimes to kind of balance in your own mind, knowing that you got to do what's in the best interest of the team, even though it might not be in the best interest of Talen Horton-Tucker this young of a stage in your career? Yeah,
I feel like it's actually great. So just being able to have that balance of, being patient and not trying to force or rush anything on and off the court. Just being able to have that, to have this experience for me, I feel like it's going to further my career. So I'm appreciative of it.
What have you thought so far of your production this year? I think it's been great. I do the pregame show with Michael Thompson, and Michael always says, here's a former Lakers, got 2 NBA championships. His son is one of the elite players in the NBA, and Klay Thompson. And I remember in preseason, he kept talking about how he hopes by the regular season that you're part of the rotation, you're getting real playing time. What have you, if you're going to assess your game, what do you think so far?
I appreciate those comments from him too. So, it means a lot coming from somebody like him. But just being able to, do what I've done now, it's just, I'm, just want to get better every day. Just trying to, to do the things that, I know I've done my whole life playing basketball and just doing whatever it takes to win. I feel like it's the most important thing that I've been doing. So just being able to come out and play hard and just getting the opportunity it's been really good for me.
Talen, does the coaching staff or some of the veteran players, do they key in on a part of your game and say, hey, we really want you to work on this? Just as part of your evolution, is there a specific part of your game that you're hoping as this season progresses that you can improve on?
I feel like just letting things come a little bit more with, just learning the game a little bit more. I feel like this is my first real season actually getting to, get real game reps and, actually get some minutes. So just being able to take it game by game and, just having the right mindset coming in is the most important thing that they've been kind of, on me about.
Talen Horton-Tucker taking some time to join Lakers Talk tonight. Greatly appreciate his time. Talen, do you know, this is going to be a little bit different of a question, but do you know how popular you are yet being a Lakers player? I mean, do you feel that, let's say, from last season to this year, is it different for you from a Laker perspective and popularity perspective? Do you feel it?
Honestly, I feel it, but it's hard not, with fans not being at the game,
sure.
So just not really seeing that. I probably would say would probably be the only reason why I probably feel that way. But other than that, I feel the support that Laker fans show are always going to be heard. So just being able to have that is really pretty good too. But I haven't actually seen it, like how traditionally it would be.
That's why I asked the question, because I do think it's unique in your position. By the time we really started to get to know you, when Laker fans got to watch you in the playoffs, and it's like, okay, wow, look at Talen Horton-Tucker getting an opportunity, and then you had instant impact, and here you are this season now as a consistent rotational player. Do you think about that at all? Do you think when fans are allowed back in the arena, do you think about playing in front of fans and what that ovation will be like for Talen Horton-Tucker, a 20-year-old kid that's certainly making his imprint in the NBA and with the Lakers?
I'm really just trying to, when I go out there, I try to just focus on the game. So I just really want to, it'd be a great thing to have, but I just want to, focus out there and want to focus on winning and just, bringing on that win for the fans. So.
Look at that professional answer. THT, you already got it down too. I mean, your answer is you already got it down. Well, I'll tell you this, because I think it's important for you to know as well, because you have not got a chance to see it from a fan perspective. I'll tell you from my seat, when, just getting a chance to cover the team and obviously doing the pre and the post game shows, Laker fans are very, very excited about your future. And I think that says a lot to the work that you've put in, and it also says the opportunity that you're getting and taking advantage of it. So, you should know that, because one day Staples Center will be packed again, and I think you'll really feel what it's like to have that Laker fan base behind you, and trust me, it's a powerful thing.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Okay, THT, last question I got for you. Here you guys are, and I'm going to actually more make this specific to you. What has it been like? You're 20 years old and you're playing with one of the greatest to ever play the game. What has it been like for you, even if it's conversations you haven't had privately or behind the scenes with LeBron James? What's it like to kind of watch one of the greats, his routine, how he prepares, what he does on off days? How important has that been to you, and how much has that just been a learning process for you to watch?
Yeah, like you said, I take it as a learning experience for me, just being able to have his presence around me, and just seeing what he does on a day-to-day basis. Like you said, just anything. Kind of just trying to be a sponge towards to anything that he does. But I feel like just him having me around, and him just being in my presence gives me opportunity to learn from something that he's doing. So I feel like he's doing the right thing. So just following those footsteps is it's a good thing to have early in your career like this.
Well, Talen, listen, man, congrats on the start to this season. The team is obviously playing great, sitting at 19-6. I know there's a long way to go. But we're looking forward to your development. We're looking forward to game in and game out, seeing your growth. And I know I greatly appreciate you taking the time, and I'm sure Laker fans appreciate your insight on how the season is going.
I appreciate you having me, man.